live. We want you to know that sustaining places don't just happen, they take planning.
I think I'll catch the bus to work today.
There's a lot each one of us can do.
Learn more at planning.org. A message from the American Planning Association and this station.
The new year brings new big savings from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Get up to $9,000 in total value on the new 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with SLT Premium Plus package. Plus drive away in a new 2017 Buick Envision. Now it's $7,500 below MSRP. And the new 2018 Kia Stinger has arrived at only $299 per month for a 36-month lease. And get the 2018 Honda Fit for $169 a month for 36 months. See Ronaldo for all the details. Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RonaldoAutomall.com. Since 1983, Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been providing dependable service and quality products to the Cleveland County and surrounding area. And the tradition continues today with quality American Standard heated and air conditioning systems. Just give them a call at 704-484-0025 and they'll help you select the right American Standard system for your needs. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby, your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, where your comfort is our concern.
Welcome out to the best in sports right here for you on a Wednesday afternoon, Kent. It is a rainy Wednesday out there for you.
Yeah, pretty messy out there. I saw the creeks was rising out there as they came down the road. A lot of rain today.
We got a lot, don't we, Kenny?
Sure do.
Especially after that snow we had the other week. Yeah. All right, Kenny, we've had a great Super Bowl this year. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, Ken. They are Super Bowl 52 Super Bowl champs, Ken.
They sure are. And you got to have to contend with them Eagles in that Eastern Division of the NFC. You know that, Tim.
Absolutely.
But they played a great game. What a great offensive game plan they had, and they executed it so well. Nick Foles, what a performance. Wasn't nervous. Came into the game and looked like he was in total control. And it was an offensive game that set some records for the Super Bowl. Wasn't much defense out there.
No, there was not.
But one great defensive play late in the game was a difference in the game by the Eagles.
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, their offense, I tell you, Doug Peterson, I take my hat off to him. I'm the biggest Cowboy fan they are. But that man put on a great offensive I guess you say scheme out there on behalf of one of the greatest defensive minds of all time. Talking about Bill Belichick, the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Foles, and the whole entire offense, Ken. They got it rolling. They got it rolling early. They went straight down the field on the opening drive and scored a touchdown right off the bat.
Yeah, they played great first half, and what a great call right at the end of the half, 4th and 1, and they went for it rather than kick the field goal, and came up with a trick play with Nick Foles getting a touchdown through a pass reception, and they worked it to perfection, and that was a big play in the game. But second half, Brady and the Pats, they came out and they just marched down the field, touchdown, and Philadelphia kept answering. But the biggest play in the game was after Philly had went ahead, and Pats got the ball back, and they sacked Brady, knocked the ball away, and got the fumble recovery, kicked that field goal, ran some time off the clock before they did it to go up 8 and only leaving a minute left. Even still, he got to midfield and had a Hail Mary chance to, score a touchdown. Of course, they'd had to get a 2-point conversion, but the Pats didn't give up. Brady, what a great game, over 500 yards passing. Wasn't his fault. It was the defense that the Pats could not hold the Eagles down.
Ken, you could actually say he's gotten better with time. You know that with age, too.
Great performance.
40 years old, throws 505 yards, and just had an unbelievable football game. And he is the first player to throw for and catch a TD. That is Nick Foles for the Philadelphians on behalf of the Philadelphia Eagles. Throws a TD pass, Ken, and catches one, too. So both quarterbacks, Brady and Nick Foles, had a heck of a game there.
No, it was an offensive game. Both quarterbacks were fantastic.
1,151 yards, Ken, combined offense for both teams.
Set a record for a Super Bowl, that much yardage. Also, most passing yards, as you already mentioned, by a quarterback, over 500.
That's in the playoff. Most passing yards in a playoff
for Brady
history. That's unbelievable.
And New England, 33 points, was the second most scored in a loss in Super Bowl history. And the least number of punts in a game, Tim, 1 punt in the total in the game.
You know what that meant? And New England punted the football. It means that to me told me that Malcolm Butler only played one snap on defense, and that was on special teams, and that was on the punt. And that was the coach's decision too, Ken.
Yeah, the big story and a lot of discussion and controversy following the fact that Malcolm Butler, who had probably, I think he'd started more defensive snaps than any player on the Pats, and had been a regular starter at quarterback for several years, made All-Pro in 2015. And right before the game, it was announced that he would not play on defense.
He was their best defensive player, Ken, on the field. The best he played 97% of the defensive plays the whole entire year, played more snaps than any defensive player on the New England Patriots football team, and he did not play but one snap, and that was on special teams on the kickoff. On the punt team on
the punt team, and I guess if it had been more punts, he'd have played more. But I got a question, Tim. Now, Belichick wouldn't get any information. He said it was a football decision. I don't think many people bought that. But he also made a comment that said, well, we could have a longer discussion about Malcolm Butler not playing, but we're not going to do that. And I thought, well, what does that mean? Well, you know, Belichick doesn't say much of anything. So there's different rumors about what happened, but I saw where yesterday Butler came out and said, look, I didn't miss curfew. I didn't do anything the whole week up there that was any problem. So he said they gave up on me. But what I heard was there was one minor team infraction. Now, he did miss the flight down to
due to illness, though.
But due to illness. Right. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'll say one thing. Belichick's catching a lot of flack over it. A lot of Pats fans and some previous Pats players that's no longer playing criticizing Belichick for what he did.
For his pride. Yeah, Nikovich, who was on the radio station of WEEI, I believe it was, in Boston, Massachusetts, said that he couldn't believe that Coach couldn't put aside his pride to play Malcolm Butler, who was his best defensive player on the football field, who actually won the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks a few years ago.
Made that play, interception, that thing on the goal line, absolutely.
Yeah, and for him not to get to play. Now, like you said, there's a lot of rumors going around that, you know, he did some things that he shouldn't have done. But still, Ken, this is the Super Bowl, and he literally dressed out.
Well, that's what I didn't understand, Tim.
He dressed out and stood on the sidelines.
If you're not going to, if it's a reason you're not going to use him, whether it be disciplinary or whether it's some other reason, why don't you just make him inactive? If you gotta suit him up and play him on special team punt returns, why wouldn't you want to use him on defense? I don't understand that.
That makes no sense.
What kind of punishment is that? Like you said, it's almost like I got the bigger ego. I'll show you.
Let me ask you a
something.
question. What did Philadelphia do when they came out there and saw he wasn't playing in the first series?
They picked on Rowe, and I feel sorry for the kid. He's a backup. He should have been out there.
And where did he come from? Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
And here's the thing. Don't think for 1 minute Belichick, you know, he's known as a genius defensive coach. Don't think for 1 minute he didn't say, you know, I'm going to take this football player that we got from the Philadelphia Eagles who they did not want, and I'm going to put him out there starting in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to win the Super Bowl with one of their players and rub it in their face.
Well, if he did, that wasn't a smart move.
No, it wasn't.
And he made.
But that's what everybody's saying.
He made the statement that we have a game. We had a game plan, and we put the players out there that we felt give us the best chance to win.
How can you say that?
I don't believe that.
How can you say that, Ken? And he was your best defensive player on football team and played the most snaps.
And did they need him? I mean,
yes,
Philadelphia passed that ball and beat up the secondary all day long. He could have made a play here or there. It could have made, maybe they stopped the drive. It could have been a difference in the ball in a close game like that.
Did you hear what Brady said? Brady came out and made a comment about that. He said he is one of his, one
best
of the
teammates.
Yeah, best teammates. One of the best teammates he's got.
Yeah, and so I don't know what's going there. Stephen A. Smith, who's very vocal about things, he got all fired up. He said it was classless and a disgrace what he did. And then he come back the next day and they doubled down on it. He said, well, it was pure evil what he did. So I mean, he was really
all fired up.
He was coming down on Belichick.
Yeah, and Stephen A. He's always been a Patriots supporter, but for him to say that's pretty, like you said, that's pretty impressive there. Some other NFL news too, and by the way, like Ken and I would congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles, even though
they deserved it. And
absolutely,
and Nick Foles is a stand-up guy.
Listen,
I feel great for him. I really
absolutely, do. I do too. And and the more I watch that game, the more it made me want to pull for not the Eagles, but for Nick Foles.
Yeah.
But hey, also I want to let you know this, Ken. In professional football, there's only one division now. One division in all of football. In the NFC and the AFC is one. All their teams won a Super Bowl. Guess who that is? The NFC East.
There you go.
That's right. So, and the Cowboys still lead with 5 Super Bowls, even though Pittsburgh's got 6. Dallas has got 5 from that side.
I can't remember. Was I live when they won that last
Hey. Kevin Hastings, if you're listening out there, shoot Ken some text messages.
Was I live when they won that last?
Poke the old bear over there for me. So anyway, that's another story for another day. But anyway, NFL news: Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, signed as the head coach of the Detroit Lions. And Ken, the next one
that was expected.
Yes,
and we had another one that was expected, and that was Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. He had already been reading about it for several weeks. He was going to be the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And guess what, Tim? He met with them. They agreed to terms. They scheduled a press conference for today to announce him as coach. That was Tuesday. He went back to clean out his office in New England Tuesday night, and guess what? Had a talk with Belichick and probably Kraft and some folks there, and said, I'm not going to take that job.
Let me ask you a question, Ken. Now, the Indianapolis Colts is the ones who turned in the New England Patriots for Tom Brady for the inflating the footballs and stuff like that. Now, don't think for 1 minute Josh McDaniels didn't forget about that.
Well,
do you think maybe possibly?
I know Belichick.
Belichick, Kraft didn't
forget about it.
Brady didn't either.
Now, there's a lot of fallout over this, Tim. I read right before I came in. McDaniel's agent really got mad, and he terminated his relationship with him. Yeah, he said you just made the worst professional decision of your life. But guess what? He was getting ready. The Colts was going to pay him a big contract. I heard were going to pay him big money. Well, the agent was going to get a little bit of slice of that.
Sure.
So he's probably, but he terminated his relationship with him.
Wow.
I read that earlier.
I heard he told him it was a bad decision. Let me ask you something else too, Ken. Think about this. Now, New England Patriots and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft and Tom Brady, it's not a happy camper. It's not a happy situation in New England, even though they lost, even if they'd have won the Super Bowl. Do you think now I told you the other week I thought Belichick's out the door. Do you think that's the reason why McDaniels chose not to leave?
I think he is the heir apparent to take over when Belichick is no longer there. Now, the question is, I think he will be. I think he'll be offered that job. What I also heard today was Belichick, when he met with him, he told him that he wanted to take his mentorship to a higher level with McDaniels. And he said he wanted to be involved with more roster construction and also salary cap decisions. So he's going to have him more involved in some of the stuff Belichick does, GM stuff as well as that stuff, and also some of the other.
He's mentoring. He's getting him ready, then, in other words.
So I don't think it's anything on paper, but I think it was a handshake deal that said, look, you're heir apparent here.
Now, let me ask you a question. The Belichick's got, what, one more year on his contract?
One more year on the contract, and he's 65 years old.
Do you think maybe next year might be the year?
It could be. I mean, and Belichick's not done. Brady might want to play till he's 45, but Tim, I don't think he'll be able to. He may have 1-2 more years left.
1 or 2
that's the most.
Maybe. It all depends on his health. What if he gets hurt next year?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he starts getting injuries or his play drops off significantly, he'll probably reconsider a step down.
Yeah.
Because, Tim, what else has he got to accomplish? And you got to think about long term. I know his wife wants him to retire. You got the CTE thing that does affect football players. It's been proven. You got to think about that seriously.
Yeah, I agree with you, too. Some of the NFL awards, the most valuable player in the league this year was Tom Brady. Offensive Player of the Year, Todd Gurley. Defensive Player of the Year, Ken, was Aaron Donald.
Now there's 2 players from the same team, one getting Offensive Player of the Year and the other getting Defensive Player of the Year. You think the Rams got something to build around?
I would think so.
I would think so, too. Then you got Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara, and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Marcus Lattimore. Both of those with the New Orleans Saints.
Absolutely. Hey, Kenny, we got some Carolina Panther news out there for all you good fans out there. The Panthers placed interim general manager Marty Hurney on paid administrative leave after the NFL opened up an investigation of harassment accusations and against Hurney by his ex-wife, Kenny.
Yeah, we'll talk some more about that when we come back, but I'm saying the Panthers have a lot of news every week. And Tim, it's not always great news.
No, it's not. You're listening to the best in sports right here on WCSL, 1590 AM, in the big city of Cherryville. Ken Link and Tim Johnson.
The only station you need at work.
All day long, constantly.
Big O Country, WCSL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Carolina Country, WCSL, and The Boss, WOHS and WLON. With your help, the American Cancer Society is fighting for every life threatened by every cancer in every community. Through your support of Relay for Life, your dollars contribute to research, education, and prevention, and more. Visit www.cancer.org for more details. The Lincoln County Department of Social Services will be offering the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. Call 704-732-0738 for more details. And that's What's Up. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Carolina Country, WCSL 1590 AM, and The Boss, WOHS 1390 AM, 101.5 FM, and WLON 1050 AM. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com.
When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Spencer Devine of Burns High School is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Spencer is the son of David and Kim Devine and is the quarterback of the Burns football team. Spencer also plays baseball for the Bulldogs, and he currently has a 4.73 grade point average with advanced courses including AP Economics, AP Calculus, and AP English. Extracurricular activities include a member of the student government and First Priority. He is a member of the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. Spencer's community activities include participating in Operation Christmas Child, the Potato Harvest, and tutoring elementary school children. After graduation, Spencer plans to attend the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and major in education. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also overall achievements in the classroom and overall school and community citizenship.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Free classifieds at every edition of the What's Up Shopper, covering Cleveland, Lincoln, and Gaston counties. Place your free classified ad today in this week's What's Up Shopper.
All right, we're back here at the Best in Sports right here for you on WCSL 1590 here on a Wednesday afternoon. Kenny Link and Tim Johnson, we're live here every Wednesday. You catch nothing but the very best of your sports in college, high school, collegiate, professional. We got it all, Ken.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all of it, too. As we left, we was talking a little bit about the most recent news come out about the Panthers yesterday. Marty Hurney has been placed on administrative leave as a result of accusations made by his ex-wife of harassment, and the NFL opened an investigation, and with that happening, I think the Panthers had no choice but put him on paid administrative leave. Now, here's the situation there. He was divorced. I think his divorce was final in 2014. And I understand his ex-wife had filed late in 2017 to get some more alimony. This was after he, took the GM job as the Panthers. Gettleman been fired. I guess he'd make him more money, and she wanted to see if she can get some more of that money from an alimony standpoint.
Smart woman.
Well, and then she filed this past Friday accusation against him for harassment, claiming that her house had been broke in. There'd been notes left on it with threatening notes and a lot of different stuff. Anyway, when she went to the court and tried to get the restraining order against him, the judge denied it, said didn't have enough evidence to do it.
Right.
And then I think Monday.
So in other words, she's trying to say that he's behind that.
Yeah, she was saying that's behind it. But Monday, because it was turned down by the court, she dropped her attempt. So they got a court date for next week, the 16th, but I don't know what they're going to talk about. She's already dropped it. But his lawyer said that she timed this to do the most damage to him, to Hurney. So we'll see what comes out about this.
Well, I'm sure she probably didn't have a lot of ideas of how to do that. I'm sure the attorney probably helped her out a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
She's got
people around her.
Oh, she's got an attorney,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And like you say, she's trying to get the most she can out of it. It sounded like it was a bitter divorce. And sometimes things like that happen. But here it puts the Panthers sort of in a precarious situation, Tim. They was interviewing last week, and I understand there's still some interviews maybe going to happen this week for general manager. And, of course, Marty Hurney, as the interim general manager, was going to be considered probably the favorite. And so everybody expected he would get the job, whether it be extended a year or two, whatever. He would be the GM.
Right.
Now, with this happening, understanding that the investigation is going on about Richardson and his sexual harassment, you wonder if the Panthers will walk away from putting Marty in as a permanent GM. We'll see.
I think they will. I think they will.
Very well could.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot going on with the Panthers, especially with Mr. Richardson and, of course, now with Marty Hurney. I think they will, Ken. I think the ownership is going to – I think they're going to have an ownership here real soon, like we was talking about in between the break. And I think when that happens, I think they will – and they might – I bet you they probably already have somebody in mind already right now as we speak.
Yeah, they may have. And they're real quiet about the plans. There's nothing leaking out except everybody just assumed that Hurney would get the permanent job rather than interim. But here's the thing that's bad. Tim, how long is the NFL going to have this investigation going on? Because he's going to be on leave all that time. And we got the NFL Combine starting in 2 weeks. And then we have 2 weeks after that, we got the free agent period opens up, and, of course, the draft here.
That's where I would think Ron Rivera is probably the one that's probably going to handle that.
Well, he will. But when you get into free agency stuff, you look at signing the
money-wise.
Well, you look at it signing your free agents you want to keep, and you look at signing other free agents on the market. And you need a GM out there doing that kind of stuff.
You're right. I agree with you.
As far as
the numbers guy.
As far as player evaluation, your scouting team. And Rivera be involved with that, but you got to have somebody doing that business end.
I agree with you.
Of closing the deal and signing them.
I bet they got somebody behind closed doors somewhere or another. I bet you money, Kenny.
They don't. They better get somebody.
They better get somebody fast. Kenny, they can hire you. You're a numbers guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now,
I
folks.
got some ideas. Who
I'm telling you right
who
now.
needs to stay and go. So
I'm putting my money on Kenny Link here at KTC Broadcasting. He should be the next GM for the Carolina Panthers.
All right.
Listen, I'm telling you, and I'll represent you. I don't know you want me to represent. We get Calvin to do that. How about that?
He'd be a better choice.
Mr. Calvin Hastings. All right, to sell of the Panthers, 6 different groups have submitted bids. NFL owners meet at the end of March. We'll meet with the Panthers and also and decide when the Panthers be sold. Right? Absolutely. Will it be?
I mean, they're meeting. Will there be something sold by then or not? And then once it gets sold, I think 2/3 of the owners have to prove the sale. So I think there's another meeting that's supposed to be sometime in the springtime, maybe a couple months after this one at the end of March. So I look for things to happen around March, April timeframe, Tim. I don't have any information. They've been real quiet about it. The only thing I've heard is you got 6 groups bidding on it. I don't know anything other than that.
You got Luke Kuechly won the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, well-deserved. Ken, we see Luke on Sundays after the games and stuff like that. Well-deserved. A great young man. He does a lot for the community.
And well-respected.
Well-respected throughout.
By his teammates and his opponents. Well-respected by the way he plays on the field, his attitude, and just that Art Rooney Award was just started, I think, in 2014, so it's only been going on 3 or 4 years. And congrats to Kuechly for winning it. Also, congrats to Greg Olson, who was again in the finalists for NFL Man of the Year. The guy who won it was J.J. Watt, which everybody expected him to after he raised so many millions of dollars for the hurricane victims down in Houston. So, Greg Olson does great work in the community, and everybody knows about that. So, congratulations to both of those 2 quality guys that Panther fans should be and are proud of.
Here's one kid that kind of shocked me. I was sitting there reading over it. Ron Turner, the offensive coaching assistant, and his son Cameron Turner, the assistant quarterbacks coach, are no longer with the Panthers.
Yeah, those are all. You have Norv Turner coming in and his son Scott as the quarterback coach. Right. But these other Turners are already involved somewhat with the Panthers. But it's interesting they're leaving.
And Steve Wilkes.
And Cameron is going in Steve Wilkes' staff in Arizona. And I don't know about Ron Turner, whether he's got a job lined up somewhere else or not. But that came out this week that we cut the Turners from 4 to 2 for the Panthers. As long as we keep Norv.
They got their right one. They've got their right one.
We got the right Turner.
Absolutely.
We keep it Norv. That's what I look at.
Ken, we have some local news here from Shelby High School. Dax Hollifield signed him today with Virginia Tech, and know a lot about that young man.
He's
great football
a great career at Shelby, and Tim, he was this year. He was the North Carolina Defensive Player of the Year. He is also the defensive MVP in the Shrine Bowl, and he also played in the U.S. Army American Bowl and was captain of one of that team. So great accolades for him for 4 years. I understand Virginia Tech's been recruiting him hard since he was a freshman, and we wish him the best. He's had a great career at Shelby, 3 state championships, and lots of awards.
Yeah, absolutely. Great young man. Also a great football player for Shelby. Going to be going to Virginia Tech. He's going to do great things there for the Hokies. And you were telling me they have been looking at him ever since he was a freshman in high school.
Yes, he has. And he that was – with Keedy said he didn't even know who Coach Foster was when he met him at that time. But
so they recruited him really hard.
Really hard, and they've been after him the whole time.
So, and he's paying them back by going to Virginia Tech. How about that? Lincolnton, Ken, our Lincoln Wolves.
Cordell Littlejohn, who
breaking news, Ken.
He was had a great quarterback season in his junior year, threw 50 touchdowns. Played his senior year in Georgia at one of the top classifications down in Georgia. They didn't have that good a team, but I think Cordell was their best offensive player. But he had not signed with anybody. And Tim, he committed last week to play at FAU, that's Florida Atlantic University, for Lane Kiffin. And so that's a great opportunity for him.
Ken, he's playing for Lane Kiffin, one of the great coaching minds of collegiate football, also a professional coach with the Oakland Raiders.
Yes.
His dad, Monty Kiffin, was with Tampa Bay with all them great defenses and stuff like that. So he's in good hands, Ken.
He is.
So congratulations to Cordell Littlejohn out of Lincoln High School, the Wolves. Also, Shelby's Dax Hollifield.
You could listen to your boss.
Work, work, work.
But wouldn't you really rather listen to us?
I listen to it all day long.
Big O Country, WCSL, 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Let your ideas grow at the Southern Spring Home and Garden Show, February 23rd through 25th and March 2nd through 4th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. With hundreds of experts all under one roof, this is the place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice. See Vern Yip of TLC's Trading Spaces. Plus, explore thousands of square feet of landscaping and florals in Bellegarde Gardens. From kitchens and baths to landscaping and more. Don't miss the Southern Spring Home and Garden Show. Buy tickets online and save $2 at charlottespringhomeandgardenshow.com.
It's time to tee it up at the Pine Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride all day, Monday through Friday for $28. Senior rate is $25. Play and ride 18 holes, Monday through Friday for $21. Seniors play for $18. Play and ride weekends and holidays for $28. For your tee time, give them a call at 828-433-4950. The Pine Mountain Golf Course. Come and play today.
If you want it sold, put it on the Carter Chevrolet Swap Shop with Milton Baker. Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 10, right here on Big O Country and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Okay, Ken Link and Tim Johnson back on the Best in Sports show here on WCSL 1590, Cherryville, North Carolina. Talking your best in sports here today. We've talked a lot of football. We're going to turn our attention to the round ball sport. And there's a lot of basketball going on at the collegiate level, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over the national rankings, and then we get into the hot ACC, which has got about 3 weeks of the regular season left, and there's a lot still to be decided in the league. Although we've got one team that's sitting on the top doing great, and who's also nationally ranked, and that's the Virginia Cavaliers.
Absolutely, Ken. The best team in the ACC, without a doubt. And, it looks like to me, Ken, the Dookie Blue Devils are going to be playing the UNC Tar Heels tomorrow night. I had talked to Luke today. I sent him a text. He's got a lot of work he's doing. He said he's going to get with us here in the near next couple of weeks. He's going to we're going to get him live here on the radio station. It's Mr. Luke May from the UNC Tar Heels.
He's having an outstanding
play. Absolutely outstanding this year. So knew Luke well. Had him last year on the show. Going to have him. He said he'd give us a call in the next couple of weeks, so we get him on here live.
That'd be great.
Ken, NC State Wolfpack are my mighty Wolfpack, and I'm supporting the shirt. Calvin already made a comment about my state shirt today. I know Ken, he's looking awfully peaked looking over there because the Wolfpack are on the rise, Ken.
Well, after those Tar Heels take care of Duke Thursday night, they got a little bit of
Saturday night, is that right?
A little bit of games Saturday afternoon. Got a little payback coming for that Wolfpack who knocked them off in Chapel Hill earlier in the season.
Hey, I tell you, man, we're waiting for you. We're ready. I'm telling you, Coach K has got them boys playing good at NC State, and I mean Kevin Keys, not the one from Duke. You know what I'm saying?
That other Coach K had a hard time Saturday.
He
Tim.
did.
Went to St. John's. Now, I know Duke doesn't play as well on the roads. They do at home. But, Tim, how do you go to St. John's, play a team on an 11-game losing streak who has not won a conference game in the Big East and go in there and have them guys beat you?
Hey, man, St. John's always plays Duke. They always play Duke really, really tough. And I tell you why, because they always play up there toward is that not in Newark, St. John's?
It's in New York, yeah. They
Madison
play
Garden.
In New York.
Yeah, and Duke's always a big fan favorite up there. Have a lot of fan following stuff up around New Jersey and that area. So that's always a great basketball game. Even years and years, they've always played Duke tough. St. John's has.
Coach K, the other Coach K, the one at Duke, had this to say after the game. He said, Coach, what's your comments about the game? He said it was disgusting. That was his comment. It was a disgusting performance. That's exactly what he said. He had nothing good to say about his team.
Well, Duke will always be great no matter what. They're like Carolina.
Well,
Carolina and Duke.
They think they are. So
Well, I mean, Kenny, you got to give them that, Kenny.
They will always. It's one of the best programs in the
always.
Country.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason why I say it because of the history. What Coach K has done for the University of Duke is putting them on the map basketball-wise, national titles and so forth, and, of course, ACC dominance. And then you got Carolina, whose dominance with the Dean Smith era, even Frank McGuire, and then all the way up to Roy Williams.
Well, a little bit of down space in there to Roy came back. Since Roy came back,
it's
he's
different
right
world.
Up there.
It's a different world.
It
Absolutely.
It is.
So I mean, even if you think
and
about
I'll admit
it,
there's a down period there. Roy came back, he changed.
So you're
things.
saying that Matt Doherty.
Yeah, that was a down period. It was.
Think so?
Yeah, absolutely was. Only reason Matt had that job because Roy was stubborn enough to turn it down and not come back.
Kansas, yeah.
But the second time, he did not turn it down.
Yeah. Well, Dean went and got him.
Yeah.
Dean went and got him.
He couldn't say no.
He couldn't say no to his dad.
So since then, what has he done? He won over 400 games at Kansas. Since he's back at North Carolina, he's won over 400 games as a head coach at North Carolina.
There's no doubt. He's a great head coach.
Only coach in the history of college basketball to do that.
Yeah, he's a great coach. There's no doubt about that.
But let's talk a little bit about the national rankings, where Virginia and Duke fit, and then let's get into the ACC play in more detail. There's some key games tonight, and, of course, there's the big game tomorrow night with Duke and Carolina. Villanova's ranked number 1. Virginia Cavaliers are ranked number 2. And, Tim, they've still only lost one game, and they are winning and don't look like they're going to lose in the ACC. Purdue is 3rd, Michigan State 4th, Xavier 5th, Cincinnati 6th, Texas Tech 7th, Auburn 8th, and Duke drops all the way down to 9th after that loss to St. John's. Kansas is 10th. Other ACC teams in the top 25, Clemson 16, UNC 21, and Miami 25. In the ACC, Tim, there sits Virginia 11-0 in the conference.
22-1 overall.
22-0.
Great year. I tell you, I'm telling you, Tony Bennett.
And I'm going to tell you something. When you go undefeated or even close to undefeated in the ACC, you've done something.
Yes.
So there's 7 conference games left, and they play at Florida State tonight. That'll be a tough game for them on the road. I'm interested to see how that comes out. Clemson is hanging in there, Tim. They're 8-3 and 19-4 overall. They're second in the conference. Duke is right behind them at 7-3, 19-4, and as we said, they play Carolina tomorrow night at 8 o'clock in Chapel Hill. Tim, what's your prediction of that?
They're playing Chapel Hill?
Playing in Chapel Hill.
I'm taking the Carolina Tar Heels. I think Carolina's going to beat Duke. I really do. I think from talking to Luke today, they're going to make a few changes from what he was saying. So I think, yeah, absolutely. I think Carolina will beat Duke.
Well, Duke don't play as well on the road, and I know this is a big rivalry. It'll be a close game. It could go either way.
I meant to ask him, is Pinson back?
Well, he played last game. Now, he wasn't 100%. He didn't shoot well, but Tim, he had I think 14 rebounds and 8 assists.
So he did play then. I didn't see that.
He played a good floor game.
Okay.
He didn't shoot well, but he played a great floor game.
Sure.
So yeah, he is back.
Okay, well, good. That's important because he's definitely one of their best players.
And they beat Pittsburgh by 30, and Pittsburgh hadn't won a game in the conference, so I can't get too excited about it. But a couple things I saw I liked. Kenny Williams had been struggling. He came out of his slump and started hitting some outside shots, so that made me feel better.
Right.
But you got Miami, who's up there in 4th place now, 6-4 record, and then your NC State Wolfpack right there with them, 6-4. 16-7 overall.
That's right.
And they got a road game tonight at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game for them, even though they're playing at Virginia. That'll be tough. State, they'll beat Virginia Tech. I'm telling you.
And then the NC State, as we mentioned before, their next game is Carolina in Raleigh. So Carolina's got.
Is that Saturday night or afternoon?
I think it's Saturday at 2:00.
We have to watch that, Ken.
So that's Saturday afternoon. So, I mean, Carolina's got 2 tough games, Duke at home and then NC State quickly after on Saturday. So they're only off one day. Got to play Duke Thursday night and turn around and play State Saturday.
When's the last time State's been ahead of Carolina in the ACC? Been a while, hasn't it?
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Did you hear what Joel Berry said about the rivalry between NC State and Carolina? He said he didn't know that was a rivalry.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
Roy's bulletin board. I'm gonna let you know that.
Well, Roy's record against NC State's outstanding. I mean, he's like 23-4. So I mean, he just as usually, and he sees NC State as a bigger rivalry than Duke.
Oh, he does.
He does. I don't know why he sees it that way. I think it goes back when he was assistant coach and some of the days back in there.
We were good when Valvano was there.
I think that was it.
Yeah, but I tell you what, we got a coach now, Ken.
Oh, you do. I'm impressed by Kevin Keats, and I think he's
coaching these kids up.
Do great with that program. And we talked about it last week, and you asked me, I think a couple days ago, is NC State going to be good enough to get an NCAA tournament? Yes, I think they will be good enough. Tim, you got 8 conference games left. Shoot, if they finish 9-9 in a conference and get to the ACC tournament, they might make it anyway, and they probably going to win more than
with
9.
With at-large bid, yeah.
They got a chance. They're going to win more than 9 games, in my opinion, unless they fall off the radar, and I just don't see them doing that.
We'll see how they do in the next 2 games. They play Virginia Tech tonight and Carolina. Yeah. They got to go.
Have 2 tough games.
Yeah, 2 tough games.
So, and all of them getting tough.
1-1. I'll be happy at 1-1.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Florida State's 6-5, 17-6 overall. Tied with Carolina, who's 6-5, 17-7. Louisville, who's 6-5, 16-8. So there's a lot of teams all bunched up there. And Virginia Tech 5-5. And here's the significance of that game tonight. Virginia Tech, they're on the bubble of trying to get in there. They're 16-7 overall, so they'd love to have that win tonight against NC State to help their resume of trying to get in. Then you have Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Notre Dame, Wake Forest, and Pittsburgh, who is 0-11 in the league in last place. So that's your ACC. Like I said, 3 weeks left in the regular season. A lot to be decided. Some key games coming up.
The 2 big games this week will be it'll be UNC and Duke Thursday night, which will be tomorrow night, and then NC State and University of North Carolina at Raleigh. It's in Raleigh too, NC State. So hey, can State beat Carolina twice in 1 year?
Well, they'll have bragging rights if they do.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
So
listen, I'm telling you, Ken, we might have to get a red shirt on you.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. I might be like my brother. My brother says I don't own anything that's red.
Yeah, tell these people what your brother did when y'all went to see.
We went to see Lincoln Woods play Tarboro for the state championship, and it was held in Finley Stadium there in Raleigh. And you know they have these nice seats there, cushioned and everything. And Scott, my brother, he bought his blue Carolina, just sat down seat on the cement bleachers. He set that thing down there. I said, Scott, come over here and sit in these comfortable seats. He said, I'm not sitting in them red shit seats. NC State seats. I'll sit over here. So that's what he did.
How about that? That's Scott Link for you, Ken's brother. We'll be back after these commercials.
Official Listen at Work station.
Can you remind me what I pay you people for?
To Go Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
They're new, they're real, and they're here for you. Studio J Salon and Spa at 203 East Main Street, Cherryville. Studio J's is excited to be here, offering all hair care needs. Men's cuts $10. Formal styling, manicures, pedicures, and facials. Studio J Salon and Spa in Cherryville is open 7 days a week. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 to 5. Phone 704-689-6371. That's 704-689-6371. Walk-ins welcome. Studio J Salon and Spa.
At Reliable Home Appliance Center in Gastonia, they have something for both mom and dad. For mom, see front-load washers and dryers. Also, built-in dishwashers and side-by-side refrigerators. Plus cooktops, microwave, and wall ovens. And for dad, it's the Big Green Egg for the ultimate cooking experience. And a new Danby Kegerator. Don't go to the big box store. Get hometown service plus a friendly smile at Reliable Home Appliance Center, located on 3001 Union Road in Gastonia. For sales, service, and parts, plus 12 months, same as cash.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can get it all at Pat's Drive-In in Cherryville. Pat's Drive-In opens for breakfast Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Lunch and dinner served till 8 p.m. For breakfast, there's bacon, sausage, liver mush, gravy biscuits, and pancakes. For lunch and dinner, all of your favorite sandwiches, including Lotta Burgers, chicken tender plates, and Big Chef salad and chicken salad. Before the game or after the game, it's Pat's Drive-In, 604 West Church Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-8833.
It's time to get hot deals on wheels.
Hot deals on wheels.
Yes, hot deals on wheels at Carter Chevrolet in Shelby, like up to $9,600 in total value on the new 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab. And get 0% financing up to 60 months or $2,250 in cash allowance on the all-new 2018 Chevy Equinox. Come on in for all the details. Hot deals on wheels at Carter Chevrolet. Carter Chevrolet, 200 West Dixon Boulevard, Shelby, online at carterchev.com. Play trivia every morning from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock right here at Big O Country. 4 big games each morning. Join us for trivia right here at Big O Country, WHS, WCSL, and WLON.
Welcome back to the WCSL, KTC Broadcasting here at 1590. It's Tim Johnson and Mr. Ken Lee. It's the best in sports here. And Ken, congratulations to the West Lincoln High School wrestling team for winning the 2A state championship wrestling this past weekend, Ken. Butch Ross, that makes his 3rd state championship, his 2nd one in the last 4 years, Ken.
Yeah, they certainly got a great thing going up there. You talk about a little bit of a dynasty with that West Lincoln wrestling program. They've been good for a lot of years.
Yes, they have. And Butch Ross is one of the finest people in high school sports, period, whether he's a coach or not. He is without a doubt a class act. And I tell you, Ken, he is taken, to me, he is the Bobby Dale Reynolds of baseball and wrestling, of what he's done with that program at West Lincoln High School.
Yeah, they're good in wrestling. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. So congratulations to all the kids up there at West Lincoln High School. All righty, Kenny, we have some high school basketball news here. The South Fork 2A Athletic Conference boys, East Lincoln's 12-1, 19-4 overall. And you got Lincoln 11-2. They're 18-4, and they play Maiden Friday night. That'll be me and Evan on WLON 1050 AM at Maiden High School. That's going to be a big game, Ken. Huge basketball.
It's going to be a big game for Lincoln boys, but even bigger game for the girls. That girls contest down there will be the Maiden girls were 12-1 in the conference against the Lincoln girls who are 11-2, and the only loss Maiden has suffered in the regular season. The Lady Wolves beat them, so that's a big game. If the Lady Wolves can pull off the win there, they would tie.
That's huge.
Tie for the conference championship and be the #1 seed going into conference tournament.
They beat Maiden, let's see, a couple weeks ago. At Lincoln. I was at that game. Me and Evan called the game between the boys and the.
I think they've won like 7 or 8 in a row. The Lincoln girls they lost early on in the season to Bandits and East Lincoln, but they haven't lost since. And you got to see them play, Tim, and I've got to see Maiden play once.
I'm impressed with Maiden, their coaching staff,
and they're good. They're good.
Very well coached. Very well coached.
But East Lincoln has wrapped up. The East Lincoln boys have wrapped up the #1 seed in that conference, and Lincoln got the #2. So the Maiden boys are 3rd in that conference with 8-5 record, and so. After that, you got Lake Norman Charter 7-6 and Bandits 7-6. So that's sort of jumbled up there in the middle, and then you got Newton Conover, North Lincoln, and West Lincoln, the final 3 in that conference.
The Ken in the let's see here, Southern Piedmont 1A Conference, Cherryville, Ironman.
Yeah, they're 13-10 overall and 2-7 in the conference. And last night they played Lincoln Charter. Lincoln Charter's pretty good, Tim. Final score of that game was 90-39.
No.
Yes.
The boys' game?
The boys' game was 90-39.
Wow.
Lincoln Charter is now 9-0 in the conference, 19-4 overall, probably the best 1A team in the state. They did win the state 1A championship last year, have almost all their players back, and so they are the favorites to win it again.
90-39.
90-39 was the final score.
Wow.
So
they can put some points up.
They
in
can
a hurry,
put some points up. They can
play defense too.
They're talented. There's no doubt. And like I said, they've had a great season, and we'll be following them even more when they get into those state playoffs, and watch them advance. So.
Yep, absolutely. Does Cherryville, does the Ironman, do they have a chance to get to the playoffs?
I don't know whether they. I think the only chance if they do real well in the conference tournament, if they have a conference tournament, I assume they do.
Yeah.
So right now, it does like with 2-7 record overall, they don't have much of a chance getting in unless they would do something really good in the conference tournament.
Ken, I know you're excited. Major League Baseball spring training begins next week.
Next week. Most of them, most pitchers and catchers report either the 13th or 14th. And a couple teams where they actually report the 12th. So it'll be reporting next week. And, Tim, is something going on that's really interesting. There's a lot of good free agents that have not signed with any team yet.
I see that.
And what are the problems? Well, I'm going to go over some of these key players. And there's a lot of players. I just list some of the best players. But what's going on is some of these players are around 30, 31, and they're looking for long-term contracts.
That last contract.
And the owners are not wanting to give them 5, 6, and 7-year contracts. And as a result of that, their agents out there trying to beat the drum and get them signed, and the owners they're not buying it. And some of the players saying, well, is there collusion going on? No, I don't think it's collusion going on. The owners just don't want to pay that kind of money.
No, you can't blame them. I mean, you pay a player who's up in age, especially if he has an injury or something like that, and you're obligated to that contract. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him either.
Even somebody like as great as Pujols was. Well, he has a couple good seasons for the Angels, but he's dropped off as he got older, so you can expect
Is he a free
happen.
agent? Is he one?
No, he's
I know
not.
You don't have him on the list.
But here's some of the free agents. J.D. Martinez hit .303, hit 45 home runs and 104 RBIs.
That's pretty impressive.
Last year, and he's not signed.
Yeah, Martinez is a pretty good ball player.
He finished up with Arizona, and he got there and he went nuts hitting the ball. Listen, these next two, the Kansas City Royals, Eric Hosmer, .318 average, 25 home runs, 94 RBIs, and one of the best defensive first basemen in the game.
That's the MVP.
Unsigned.
Materials there, Ken.
And Moustakas, who came out last year with his power, hit 38 home runs and had 85 RBIs. There's a third baseman. There's your corner infielders that not signed by anybody. These are good ball players.
Huh.
And then you get into Jonathan LaCroix, one of the best hitting catchers in the major leagues. Well, he's not signed. And then you have Yu Darvish, Jake Arrieta, two very good starting pitchers, and Greg Holland, one of the best closers in the game. They're still unsigned.
Yeah, Darvish pitched in the World Series last year with the Dodgers.
They did. And all these are still – now, the one common thing, all these guys are around 30, 31 years old, Tim.
Wow.
And so they're looking for long-term, and they're not doing – now, speaking of Royals, Lorenzo Cain, he did sign with Milwaukee. He's a center fielder. Don't hit a lot of home runs, but good defensive player, steals bases. He might hit 15 home runs, and score a lot of runs. He signed a 5-year deal for $80 million. I'm sorry. That's $16 million a year, Tim. $16 million a year.
Wow, that's money. I tell you, baseball's where the money is. They say
it is, and so the owners are backing off here, and it was even some talk by some of these agents saying maybe we should get together and have our own spring training just to have a place to work out while these other teams are working out. I don't think that's going to happen, but someone was talking about that until we get signed. But so we'll see what happens.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
Anything's possible, especially in the world of sports.
But they said it's been the worst year as far as getting free agents signed than going back to 1994 when they had the strike and the following season started, and there were so many free agents.
Ken, we got high school baseball coming up too, and college baseball. College baseball, I think it starts real soon.
It starts in February.
High school starts I think they start the end of February, 1st of March. So
it's right around the corner for baseball.
I know you're excited. I got my clicker. I'm ready. I know we'll be calling some high school games this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And I know you got American Legion coming up too. I know Reynolds is probably already scouting players.
Oh, I'm sure he is. He probably does making contacts, So we know he does that, and I'll be looking forward to the high school baseball season as well.
Yeah, and we're going to have a lot of info out there on high school players, not just the teams, but on players, where they might be going, who they play for. There's statistics and stuff like that. Ken, I have all that for you folks out there. So if you have a young man that plays in high school baseball in the area in the Cherryville, even in Crest, we're going to keep up with Crest too.
Cleveland
County.
Yeah.
Crest had a great year. Crest has got some great talent
Boy, they went a long ways last year with
absolutely
a lot of young players.
East Lincoln.
They came within one game of winning the state
championship. The whole thing.
Yep.
You know, we talked to Matil down at East Lincoln. Matil's a good friend of ours, so we're going to have some info on East Lincoln as well. And North Lincoln, I told Ken, I told Mark Lackey, the AD director at North Lincoln, I'm telling you, are going to win the state championship with these young kids coming up. This is one of the best baseball teams, Ken, I've ever umped and saw play on the baseball field. They were spectacular.
Well, and they'll be there, and some of them may be good enough to play on varsity even
this
year.
They will be.
But if not, you do look at next year when there'll be sophomores, and and juniors.
John Cartner has got a baseball team coming, I'm telling you. And, of course, Lincoln this year. Lincoln was Cole Sigmund. Lincoln High School baseball team got two of the best players in the conference. One of them, we all know, is going to East Carolina, and that's Lane Hoover. And then we have Robbie Cowie, Cherryville American Legion very own, going to Catawba College. Yes. Ken, you know all about Robbie?
Yeah, I've watched him play.
Great young man.
Watched him blossom.
Both of them boys, good boys.
Watched Robbie blossom in American Legion baseball, and what a joy it is to watch him play. He's a very good player, and both these guys, I think, are going to do well and be successful.
And I guess Brett Urey would be the player for the West Lincoln Rebels. I'm not sure if Brett's going anywhere or not. I'm sure he is somewhere. I'm not real sure where. He's an outstanding baseball player too, and I know he's going to play at American Legion Cherryville too.
Yeah, that's what he said he's going to play this year, which I hope he does. He's got a lot of speed, and
yes,
they got a lot of players coming
back.
Great
young man.
And I think Bobby Dale will have a lot to work with this year.
He will.
Tim, in the NBA, Cleveland is still struggling. They was ahead by 20-some points last night, blew the lead, lost by double digits. The Cavaliers have lost 14 out of the last 21 games, and there's no it seems like when things go wrong, instead of them pulling out of it, they go into tank. And right now, they're not playing well as a team. They're complaining, and I don't know whether they're going to turn it around or not.
You know, I don't really keep up a lot with the Hornets and stuff or the NBA basketball. I'm a college basketball guy, but I can't understand why that the Hornets are 23-30. I knew they're 7 games, below 500, but something's got to change. They've got to do something there to get that program. It's been too long. Michael Jordan's had that organization too long to be struggling like this.
They won 3 in a row, and then they lost. They've done a road trip, but they did win 3 in a row, and they lost their last game. So maybe they turn it around a little bit. They've got a couple players back that's was on the injury list, and they have been playing better the last week. But they got to continue, Tim. They've still got, I think, 2 teams ahead of them to be able to make it into the playoffs. And they can still get there, but they got to play better ball.
They're going to have to. But as far as Cleveland, Ken, LeBron James are probably going to be gone by the end of this year. I'd say he's probably going to be in someone else's uniform.
I would suspect so.
Yep. All righty, Kenny, great show.
Enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week to talk more about all kinds of sports.
Absolutely, Sue. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys here next week. You've been listening to the best in sports right here on WCSL 1590.